Hi, everyone. Welcome to Crystals, Cauldrons, and Conversations. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kaylee, and I will be hosting this podcast where we talk about all things witchy, along with some other conversations on healing and various other topics. I am getting into a lot of witchy things, so as I learn and practice, I will be sharing that with you so that you can learn as well. And like I said, we will be having some other conversations along the way about, healing and wellness and pretty much a variety of topics that will correlate with that. There'll be some episodes that are a little longer and some that are a little shorter, just depending on the topic that we're talking about. I hope to have some guests on in the future as well. So stay tuned for all the witchy vibes and conversations to come. Today's episode, being the very first episode, I'm so excited. We're going to talk about the full moon because today is February 1st and there is a full moon tonight. So, this full moon is called the snow moon, which is great because in my area we've recently had a lot of snow. So, the moon currently is in the 14th moon day. So for the lunar calendar, it doesn't actually go by days. So it goes by phases. So it's in the 14th moon day, which is the waxing gibbous phase, and that is right before the full moon happens. When the full moon starts later on today, then it'll be in the 15th moon day. So that's how that works. The 15th moon day is always the full moon, and the first moon day is always the new moon. So the moon is also in Leo. So in astrology, the moon sign reflects emotions, moods, and instinctive energy. Leo is, for all you Leos out there, I'm a Capricorn, but for all you Leos out there, Leo is bold, creative, confident, and expressive. So when the moon is in Leo, emotions can feel larger than life. It's a good time for self-expression, creativity, play, and leadership. It can also bring pride, stubbornness, or drama. So being aware of that is helpful. So with the moon being on the 14th lunar day and in Leo, this is a good time for finishing up creative projects, publicly sharing something you've been working on, which I have my hands in a lot of different cauldrons right now with a variety of projects that I will talk about on another episode. So this might be a good time for that for me. It's also good for being confident about your ideas. Again, great for me. Maybe that's why I've been getting my hands on all these projects lately. And preparing your intentions for release at the full moon, which goes along with making moon water, which I'm also going to talk about in a minute. So, this is not an ideal time for overthinking, for all you overthinkers out there, like myself, being too rigid or starting a delicate negotiation. So just be mindful of what kind of negotiations you might be starting, what kind of conversations you might be having with people. It's not a good time for that. You might want to hold off. So, like I said, it is called the snow moon. So every full moon has its own name. It also has symbolic meanings and some rituals that are good to go along with it. The snow moon symbolizes reflection and release. So this is letting go of what no longer serves you. It also symbolizes clarity and planning. So, setting your intentions for the upcoming months and symbolizing purity and renewal. This is your fresh starts, and it's a good time to do cleansing rituals and work on inner growth, which I feel like we're always working on inner growth. We should always be working on that. There's always room to grow. Some other rituals that would be great for the snow moon is making moon water, which I'm going to explain here in a minute. Doing meditation. I have been getting into meditation a lot more lately. There's a lot of apps for meditation. There are some you have to pay for, but there are free ones too. And there are obviously there's YouTube and Spotify where you can find things on there that are usually free, or even just putting on some calming, focusing music, or maybe you just prefer the quiet, maybe you prefer a variety of sounds because there are different kinds of sounds you can do as well, which I will talk more about in a future episode. And just doing your meditation, if you're going to be doing it for the snow moon, focus on releasing the things that don't serve you and setting goals. That's what the snow moon is good for when it comes to meditation. Also, journaling is focused on releasing and goal setting. Journaling is something I try to do on a regular basis. It's very healing and has a lot of benefits. Again, something else I'll talk about in a future episode. But today I am making my first ever moon water. I'm super excited. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I'm going to make my first ever moon water. It's actually really easy to do and it's just very interesting and I think it's really cool. So you want to start with getting a clear container. I would suggest one with a lid for a variety of obvious reasons, but such as like a mason jar, but whatever works for you, as long as it's a clear container. You're gonna fill it with clean water. They do say spring water is best, but whatever you have will work. And you're gonna set it outside or on a windowsill where the moonlight can hit the water. So where I'm at, it is the dead of winter, so I won't be setting mine outside because the temperatures have been so cold that it'll freeze, and I don't want it to do that. So I will be putting mine in the window this time. When it's warmer out, I think I will be setting it outside. So you're going to set it somewhere in the window or outside, depending on the situation of the weather, where the moonlight can hit the water. That's really the most important part is that the moonlight can actually reach the water. And then the next most important part is setting your intentions for the moon water. So this basically means releasing the things that feel heavy and call in the things that feel healing. So for doing this, for setting your intentions, some people will write these things down and keep them. Some people will write them down and discard them, either by ripping them up, throwing them away, burning them, however you want to do it. Or you don't have to write them down. You can just speak them to yourself. You can speak them out loud. Really, when it comes to doing a lot of things witchy or, like making moon water, it's not about the performance. It's really just about the focus and the intention behind it. So you don't have to do it the same as everybody else. So you can write them down or you don't have to. But again, you just want to make sure you set those intentions. You're releasing those things that have been feeling heavy on you. You're calling in the things that feel healing and your goals, what things you want to happen following this next month until the next full moon. And then after that, you're just going to let your moon water sit overnight in the moonlight where the moonlight's hitting it. And you want to try to retrieve it before sunrise. So if you have to set yourself a little alarm to just get up real quick and grab it before the sunrise. During the week, it's Sunday, so tomorrow morning I will already be up before sunrise because I always get up before sunrise. But when the time change happens and it's summertime, I might have to get up earlier to grab it before sunrise because sometimes, during time changes, sunrises can alter. So grab it before sunrise, and then the last thing you want to do is just to use it. And you can use it really however you choose. You can drink it directly. Obviously, that's why they mention, you want a clean container, clean water if you're just going to drink the water. So you can do that. I think I might drink a little bit of it with when I take my vitamins and stuff in the morning. I'm going to use that to take my vitamins. You can make it with tea, or if you're a coffee drinker, I drink tea. So I'm also going to use it in my tea in the morning. That's how I plan on doing it. You can bathe with it. You can put it in your bath water. You can water your plants with it. If you have crystals that you like to cleanse, you can cleanse those with it. If you could even just pour it on yourself if you really wanted to. You could cook something with it. Basically, anything you want, just use the water in some way. And that's how, it helps with your intentions coming to you and releasing what you chose to release. So I'm going to be making my moon water today. I can't wait. Um, that's going to be it for this episode. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that full moon and making the moon water and then some of the upcoming stuff. So tell me in the comments if you're going to be making moon water or if you've ever made moon water, how do you like to do it and what's your typical way of doing it? Stay tuned for the next episode where I will be talking about altars and because I'm going to be making my own altar. So if you have an interest in making an altar, and I know that can sound to some people who don't fully grasp all the witchy stuff, that sounds satanic to some people, like devil worshiping, but that is not at all what it is. There's a lot of misconceptions about all things witchy that I would like to also break those misconceptions. So in the next episode, I'm going to be talking about making an altar, what they're for, and making my own altar. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you next time on Crystals, Cauldrons, and Conversations. Stay magical.